Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss what your fetish means about you. So this is a question I got for the podcast, but I got a lot of questions for the podcast. Too many, in fact, so I'm going to spill some of those over onto this weekly video. What does your fetish mean about you? Well, first of all, we need to talk about what a fetish even is, and a fetish is technically something very narrow. I don't think a lot of people, in fact, I know a lot of people don't have a genuine fetish. A genuine fetish is when you can only get off sexually by a non-sexual object. So let's say you have a thing like Troy McClure in A Fish Called Selma. You have a thing for fish. It's this non-sexual thing, and you cannot get off. You cannot achieve orgasm, let's say, without it. Now, that's not most people. When most people say they have a fetish, it usually means they have a predilection for a certain thing, and usually there's some kind of, at least, relationship to what we would consider normal, healthy attraction with this thing they have a predilection for. And I think that's what this listener means by fetish, but even if it's not the way that most people experience fetish, isn't a real thing. Like most people will say, oh, I have OCD about something. Well, you don't really have OCD, and I don't think that's wrong to say, but you don't have full-blown obsessive compulsive disorder, although you may have some symptoms of OCD, obsessive thoughts, compulsive behaviors, as we talk about in the emotional diagram. But I see fetishes, and this is just based on my experience. You can go look online. There's a bunch of theories on why fetishes exist. I think most of them are useless. But this is where I'm coming from. This is my experience dealing with people who have fetishes, or what we would think of as a fetish, even if it's not technically a fetish. So I see two broad categories of fetishes. The one is joy and the one is shame. Joy, usually healthy. It can be unhealthy. We'll get to it. And it's just an indication of attraction. That's all it is. So an example of a joy fetish. I've never actually heard of this, but I've heard of a bunch of cases like this. So I don't know. I just thought of the jean jacket. This is a kind of joy fetish. So imagine you're a freshman boy, 12, 13 years old in high school, and you come across a goddess of an upper class man, woman, and she's wearing a jean jacket and she looks cool. And your sexual awakening, in a sense, is somehow tied to that jean jacket. Now, later on, you're going to have a thing for women who wear jean jackets. So this is not only is this some kind of a classical operant conditioning, but it's around a specifically powerful moment in your life. All guys, and I think women too, we all have that experience of, it's almost like the day we hit puberty. Whatever attractive woman we see that day, whatever she's wearing, however she smells, however she has her hair, we kind of latch onto that. Now, it's not a serious fetish, right? We don't need it to get off, so to speak, like Troy McClure, but it's kind of nice. And when we're kind of unconsciously for the rest of our lives, we may be looking for that. Now these can change, it's not permanent if you don't become aware of it. But this is really the main kind of joy thing. There's examples of this, right? So there's feet, like guys have a thing for feet, and I would consider something like feet as an indicator of attraction as well. As well as being something that you can associate with attraction or with a primary experience of feeling attraction. So if a woman has nice feet, right, this could be an indication that she's attractive. If she has feminine feet, then she's feminine. If she has well taken care of feet, then she takes care of herself. It's just an indication there. Hair, same thing. Guys have a thing for certain kinds of hair or certain kinds of smells. I've heard something like this, coconut oil. Coconut oil can be a turn on for some guys. Then you ask him about it, and he's like, oh yeah, when I was 13, I first time I held a girl's hand, it was at the beach, and she was wearing coconut oil, body spray. Okay, now it starts to make sense. Maybe some other kinds of fetishes, although I don't think it's technically fetish. Well, I did that video on incest porn. That would be kind of a fetish. This would mean something like I talk about, that you're seeking regression, right? What does it mean to marry within the family? Well, on a certain cultural level, it's disgusting, but on a maybe deeper level, it represents regression. You don't have to work on yourself. You don't have to go out and put the time in to build up your identity and find a girl who would be good for you. You just rely on your family to do it, and you marry a first or second cousin. And I think incest porn triggers this regression, but I think, yeah, we'll get to it in shame, which I guess we're ready to go to. So the other kind of fetish that I see is shame, and this is, of course, going to be less healthy. This is, you're actually getting off not so much on what the thing means to you on a normal attractive level, but it makes you feel shame. And a lot of people, if they have a lot of issues around sexuality, typically more strict, religion doesn't necessarily give people this, but a strict religious upbringing, then yeah, you're only going to feel satisfied unless there's shame, because it just doesn't make sense to you. The sexual experience doesn't make sense outside of shame, so you kind of need that to get yourself going. And the most popular one here is some kind of BDSM, right? The story of the CEO, the powerful CEO, who needs a higher dominatrix because he needs to actually trigger the sense of shame within him to get his juices flowing, so to speak. So let's combine these two with something with compulsion and lack of compulsion. So on the x-axis, let's put joy here and shame here. And then on the y-axis, let's put compulsion and then, I don't know, an N for normal. So you can determine whether your fetish needs to be worked on by this. Is it on the joy spectrum? Is it on the shame or joy side of the spectrum, on the shame side of the spectrum? And do you have control over it? Do you need it to get some kind of sexual arousal? If you do, then it's going to be more compulsive, more a sign of anxiety, something probably to work through in the clinic. And if you don't really need it, it's just kind of a fun thing, like, oh, I kind of have a thing like the smell of coconut. I don't need it. It's nice. I can understand why I like it, because I held hands with that one girl when I was 13 years old, went to the beach for the summer. Then it's probably more up here and a little bit more healthy. So I would say here is a little bit unhealthy, this being the most unhealthy. I would definitely seek some kind of treatment, seek some kind of way to process these issues here. This, I don't know, this is more of a question, this is more of a question, and this is fine. If this is you, then, have fun with it, no big deal. This is all a joyful experience. Whatever we latch onto sexually, then use it for, whatever purposes you can. But, this is what we work on here. If you do find yourself here, maybe here or here, then you need to process these emotions. You need to process specifically the shame, maybe some anxiety, if it's compulsive, anxiety behind the shame. And that's what we can work on here at Animus. And, we have a way of processing emotions that I know no other therapist really does. No other therapist really can, because they don't know how emotions work. They don't have a structure for emotions, how our decisions link up specifically with our emotions, what emotions even mean. That's what we work on here, animusempire.com/schedule. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, tell a friend, and remember, it's okay to have a fetish, just try not to fetishize it.